I'm not an investigator, but I did try to solve a problem in the Hive that came up earlier this week. So I'm going to walk over to the, what do we call it? The monitor here. Because really this could be a life or death situation for someone who might have a severe reaction to allergies. So I want to show you this post because this is about the Epipen, the generics, and the cost. Beth wrote a reminder that you can get a generic for the Epipen. She posted a reminder that Epipen is a brand name. Your physician can write a script. It's $10 at Costco and pharmacies. And then she goes on to write, excuse me, you just have to know what to ask for. Well, that sparked a good conversation, and Erie wrote, "Are you kidding me? And my doctor knows this? I asked if there was a generic and was told no." And a lot of people were upset because if you buy the brand Epipen, you could spend hundreds of dollars for it. You see Suzette's there. She says she spent $700 when she got hers. And remember, you have to get one once a year if you need to have one nearby. So we did go to our expert doctor, Dr. Elizabeth Meade from Swedish hospitals, and here's what she has to say.
There's been a lot of controversy in the last couple years about the cost of EpiPens in particular and epinephrine auto-injectors, which is the generic version in general. But there are a few things that you need to know that might make it more affordable for you. So first of all, there is a generic available. It's typically much lower cost. It may require that your doctor check the checkbox or write on your prescription generic okay or substitution permitted. So make sure when you get your prescription, you ask your doctor to allow for the generic version. If your pharmacy doesn't stock it, ask if they can order it for you. Oftentimes that's an option for pharmacies. It's also possible that you could use a mail order prescription service, so check into that and see if it's a good fit for you. And then lastly, CVS has actually committed to selling generic epinephrine auto-injectors to patients at a relatively low cost. So it's about $100 for a 2-pack, which is a pretty good deal. So if there's a CVS in your area, it might be worth taking your prescription there and see if they can fill it for you.
There you go. So now you've heard that you can get EpiPens generic at places like CVS and Costco, but just know that you can also go to other pharmacies. Consumer Reports says shop around, and before, shop around before getting that prescription filled, because you might want to call ahead, you might want to ask about the price or the availability. You can also ask for coupons. There is a good RX coupon that could save you big time. We're talking hundreds of dollars here. And a reminder, if you do switch the devices, make sure you know how to use it before you actually need to use it. That's a very key thing there. By the way, this is interesting timing because today the FDA approved a generic version of both the Epipen and the Epipen Junior. I'm sure you're going to hear about this all throughout the day. It gets a little confusing in the reporting, but the bottom line is that this opens the door for a more affordable generic version. And within the last hour, I texted Dr. Meade. I said, can you explain this to me a little bit? She said there have been these generic auto-injectors for some time out there, but they were not technically a generic for the brand Epipen. So if your doctor wrote Epipen on the prescription, there wasn't an actual generic for the Epipen.
Can anything
Does
be
that make
more
sense?
confusing than what is going on right now in our health industry?
Yeah.
I mean, it does seem crazy. Yeah.
And expensive.
Crazy, expensive. It seems like it shouldn't be $600 a year for an injector that you may not use. That could save your life.